السلام عليكم ورحمة الله
Go ahead.
وبركاته شيخ.
وعليكم السلام ورحمة الله وبركاته. Welcome to Ask Huda. Go ahead.
جزاكم الله خيرا شيخ. The question is there any specific dua to control the desires which emerge from your own nafs? I know that we have dua for protection from shaitan, but I would like to know about nafs, what we can do about that. جزاكم الله خيرا.
Okay. There is a beautiful supplication in which the Nabi sallallahu alayhi wasallam taught us to say, Allahumma inni a'udhu bika min sharri nafsi wa min sharri kulli dabbatin anta akhidun binasiyatiha inna rabbi ala siratin mustaqim. So this is a prescribed dua to be recited in the morning and in the evening to seek refuge with Allah against the evil desire within our own selves. And to be much more specific, sometimes the evil desire is related to lust. And we have this young man who came to the Messenger of Allah, peace be upon him, asking him to permit him to commit adultery. So the Prophet ﷺ, after asking him some questions in order to reason, he asked him to draw near. And he placed his palm on his chest. And he said, Allahumma aghfir dhanbah, wahfad farjah, wa tahhir qalbah. So we can invoke Allah through the same supplication. But for the first person would say, Allahumma aghfir li dhanbi, wahfad farji, wa tahhir qalbi, which means, oh Allah, forgive me and pardon me my sins, and guard my chastity, and purify my heart. There are other supplications such as رب آت نفسي تقواها وزكها أنت خير من زكاها أنت وليها ومولاها, which was reported by Aisha radiallahu anha that she heard the Messenger of Allah, peace be upon him, reciting this supplication in his sujood while prostrating himself in the night prayer. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Abu Abdullah from Nigeria, welcome to Ask Huda. Abu Abdullah, go ahead.
Okay.
Assalamu alaikum. Go ahead, akhi.
Yeah, my question is regarding leaving Medina when someone is ready for Umrah. If they're going to use the new train, can they, if they can't go to the miqat, can they dress from their hotel and then take the train? Jazakallahu khair.
Jazana ayakum. Thank you, Abu Abdullah from Nigeria. That's a very interesting and logistical question. It says that if I'm going to Umrah for Medina and we go by the train, most of the people now, and by the way, that's something good. It's not bad. It's actually an advantage because it's only 2 hours, 2 hours and 20 minutes. If you go by bus, you will end up taking a whole day, 10 hours or so. So he's saying that the train is not in the miqat. Can I go to the miqat by the bus, make the intention, and come back to take the train? Allah didn't ask you to burden yourself. Rather, He Himself said, لا يكلف الله نفسا إلا وسعها. So the Almighty Allah is not asking you to do that. No, to make it difficult for yourself. And if you go to the miqat and come back, you enter within the miqat. So basically, what did you do? You would have to come back to the miqat. Because of that, Abu Abdullah, get in the train, go with the flow, go with your group, and the train driver and attendants, normally they announce, will be in line with the miqat in a few minutes. If you're afraid that you may be tired, overwhelmed, you want to sleep, or you may doze off, then once you put yourself in that train, even before the miqat, it's permissible to say, Labbaik Allahumma Umrah, and intend to perform Umrah, or if you're doing Hajj and Umrah together, Labbaik Allahumma Umratan wa Hajjah. So don't worry about going to the miqat whatsoever. The train will pass in line with the miqat. Like exactly if you are coming to Jeddah airport, airborne, you make the intention while you're airborne. You're not in the miqat itself, you're up there, 35,000 feet above earth. So it is perfectly okay to say the niyyah before the miqat and say labbaik Allahumma umratan or hajjan umratan and hajja, or to wait in the train until the captain announces, now we are passing by the miqat, so you can say labbaik Allahumma. Thank you, Abu Abdullah from Nigeria, currently in Madinatul Munawwara. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Sister Dina from the KSA, Assalamu alaikum.
Assalamu alaikum.
Can you?
Sheikh, I came for Hajj. I just landed from New York and did the intention of tamattu, and I found out that I have period. So I already did intention for ihram, and now I understand I have to do, if my period doesn't end, I have to do ihram for Hajj Qiran. But I was wondering, how do I do that? Do I cut my hair? Do I do sa'i, or do I do tawaf?
Thank you, Dina. And you can wait on the line in case you need further elaboration or further questions to be answered. So, Sister Dina, what happened to you happened exactly to al-Mu'mineen Aisha radiyallahu anha. And what do you do in this case? And Nabi sallallahu alayhi wa sallam asked her to remain in ihram and to do everything that the Hajj does except tawaf. And obviously, you cannot do sa'i before doing tawaf. So that means you remain in Mecca in your ihram. You're making the greatest worship during these days, which is وَيَذْكُرُوا اسْمَ اللَّهِ فِي أَيَّامٍ مَعْلُومَاتٍ عَلَى مَا رَزَقَهُم مِّن بَهِيمَةِ الْأَنْعَامِ. Keep yourself busy with the takbir, with the tahleel, with the dhikr, with istighfar. Okay? Even if you want to recite Quran, but make sure you don't hold the Quran with bare hands. All right? And then on the 8th, which will be on Thursday, inshallah, if your period lasted until it is the 8th, and you have to go with the group to Mina, in this case, automatically your Hajj has entered into your Umrah. And you can say on the 8th, Labbaik Allahumma Hajjan, but you do not remove your Ihram because you're still in Ihram since Umrah. What happened? The Umrah and Hajj have merged together. And what you'll do is the following. You go to Mina, the next day Arafah, inshallah, is on Friday. Your period will not diminish your reward the least. You stay in Arafah, labbaik Allahumma labbaik, istighfar, dua, supplications, takbir. Then Muzdalifah, then you throw the stones on the Eid day. Let's say that, alhamdulillah, that period is over. You perform ghusl, and you will do one single tawaf and one single sa'i. For everyone, this tawaf and sa'i will be for Hajj. For you, it will be for both Umrah and Hajj. And your reward will not be diminished. May Allah bless you, Sister Dina, and accept all our Hajj and worship. Thank you. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Wa alaikum assalam.
Sister Aisha from the USA, welcome to Ask Huda.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh, Sheikh.
Wa alaikum assalam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Aisha, go ahead.
Yeah, Sheikh, what should a sister do if she wants to go to Umrah and go to Hajj at an early age, and the husband is not allowing her? They keep saying that she's still young, but alhamdulillah, he has allowed me once to go for Umrah. But since I have been there, I fall in love, so I want to go every year because I feel like I have the means myself, but my husband is not allowing me. And also, I have offered him that I would love to gift them like a Umrah, and he says to give him the money, that he needs the money now to go to Umrah. And also, yeah, could you please make dua for my family, please?
Sister Aisha, may Allah bless you and your family, and may Allah bring harmony and peace between you and your husband, and increase your richness, piety, and iman. With regards to the answer of your question, If, alhamdulillah, you're going with a group of people whom you trust for Hajj or Umrah, it is permissible according to Imam Malik and according to Imam Shafi'i. This year, people are going not with travel agencies, rather going with the mutawwif. So let's see how will it go this year. Then, inshallah, beginning from the next year, if people who went this year happen to have a good experience, say it is safe for women to travel with the mutawwif company and so on, then it is okay for you to travel if your husband is not interested to join you. I would like to remind everyone that Hajj and Umrah are required only once in the lifetime. But for those who have the means, the Prophet ﷺ recommended that one should do it once every 5 years, though. Recommended. It's not obligatory, though. So, alhamdulillah, if you have the means, thank you so much for offering your husband even to gift him. And something like that should not be rejected. He should pick up the offer, but Allah knows what is his condition and excuse and work schedule. May Allah make it easy for all of us. So next year, inshallah, when people return and they write their feedback and they say, well, it was safe, it was cool, and the mutawaf have taken care of us, and from the airport and all through the journey of Hajj and back to the airport, it was all safe, you can then go even without your husband. May Allah bless you and your family, Sister Aisha. Unlike Sister Aisha also is asking, what if the husband is not agreeing? If it is Hajjatul Islam, if it is the very first Hajj, he doesn't have a say. I have the means, I should go. But if it is a voluntary Hajj, then there must be a mutual agreement. And I doubt that any husband, any Muslim person would mind, especially if the wife says that I can afford it, I have the means, I'm well off, I'm paying for it out of my pocket. So that shouldn't be a point of conflict. Rather, a husband who finds his wife being rightly guided should be very pleased and happy, should be very delighted, because he is the luckiest person on earth. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Brother Hassan from Bangladesh, welcome to Ask Huda. Wa alaikum assalam wa rahmatullahi
So
wa
my
barakatuh.
question
Go
is,
ahead,
when we offer Zohar Salah with our Imam, when we offer Zohar Salah, I suppose I missed the first 2 rakah with the Imam. Then the 3rd rakah with the Imam is my first rakah, right?
Okay, are you done with your question?
And yeah. No, I'm not done. The 3rd rakah with the Imam is my first rakah. Then when the Imam is finished, then Sheikh, should I recite the surahs that the Imam recited with the Fatiha or not? Or should I not recite the surah?
Okay, I
in the
will
remaining
answer you,
rakahs?
Hassan from Bangladesh.
Hope I
Calling from
made
Bangladesh,
it clear.
calling from Bangladesh, I gotta keep in mind that the predominant madhab is Hanafi madhab. So let me explain if there is any difference of opinion in this regard because of the different madhab. Fact number 1, the vast majority of the Muslim jurists are of the view that, based on the hadith which is collected by Imam Bukhari, in which Nabi sallallahu alayhi wa sallam said, فَمَا أَدْرَكْتُمْ فَصَلُّوا وَمَا فَاتَكُمْ فَأَتِمُّوا. And it means whenever you join the Jama'ah late, in any position the Imam is in, join in. And then whatever you have missed, complete it. The word فَأَتِمُّ, complete, indicates that if you join the Imam in the 2nd or the 3rd or the 4th rak'ah, it doesn't matter. What matters is this is going to be your very first rak'ah. So you will recite Al-Fatiha and you would also recite a surah or ayahs afterward. Why? Because it's your first, even though it is the 3rd rak'ah for the Imam. 2nd rak'ah for you, likewise. Then when the Imam makes tasneem, you have 2 rak'ahs to complete, not to make up. While in the Hanafi madhab, Imam Abu Hanifa is relying on a hadith in which the narration says, فَمَا أَدْرَكْتُمْ فَصَلُّوا وَمَا فَاتَكُمْ فَقْضُوا. That's a different narration. But obviously, the narration of Al-Imam al-Bukhari is, according to the Hanafi madhab, if you join the Imam in the third rak'ah, that becomes your third. In the fourth, that becomes your fourth. And then when you make up, or the Imam makes a steam, you start making up on your own. But I've answered you in the light of these sound references and the opinion of the vast majority of the scholars, which is that is going to be your first, because it is your first. So when the Imam makes a steam, you're only continuing, not making up the missed rak'ahs. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Brother Mahjoub from the USA, welcome to Ask Huda Mahjoub.
Assalamu alaikum.
Wa alaikum assalam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Welcome to Ask Huda.
Okay, is it okay if I have two questions or only one?
Yeah, go ahead, no problem.
Okay, my first question is, so last week I performed a ghusl, and after performing the ghusl, 40 minutes later when I went to go do wudu, I found pieces of like cotton from like pillows in my hair, and it was stuck in my hair. So I removed those stuff out of my hair and applied water to it. Does that still count as a complete ghusl, or do I have to redo it?
Tell me what got stuck in your head, please, from the pillow.
You know those like little tiny cotton that comes from like pillows or blankets. It's like little cotton.
So it was like a piece of cotton, right?
Yeah. Yes.
Okay. Let me tell you this: if it was just a piece of cotton, I'm certain that the water washed through your head and hair and everything. But if it was like a sticker, a price tag on the pillow, and got stuck like a bandage or a sticker on your head, I would have said, oh, you have to redo your ghusl. You would have to redo your ghusl, Mahjoub, because part of your head was covered. But a cotton, if you pour water on it, it's soaked with water, it absorbs it, and it will not prevent the water from reaching the rest of your hair. So I don't think there should be a problem with that, Mahjoub. Got it?
I have a real question for because I see a lot of dear brothers playing a certain game, and I always want to advise them, but I'm not sure if what I'm going to advise them is correct. So in this certain video game, they play in a team. It's a team game. If one teammate gets eliminated from the game, he drops a card, and that card can be taken to like a bus, like a reboot bus. And if you put the card in the bus, they can come back into the game. And I wanted to know if that's considered an act of shirk or not, because I want to advise them, and I just don't know if what I'm thinking of is correct.
What makes you think it's an act of shirk, Mahjoub? Again, somebody is rubbing the card. Go ahead, I'm listening.
It's because I don't know. I just think it's. I have waswas, to be honest, but also it's because I don't know if it's an act of bringing so the idea of bringing life to the dead, but I know it's a video game, but if someone for example gets eliminated in the game, and then someone does something to help them get back into the game, is that considered that was just my correlation? That's why I was confused before.
No, that is not considered reviving the dead whatsoever. Letting somebody back in the game because he managed to score or whatever, this is by no means reviving the dead. And if you have any questions, which is a lengthy question, please you can send it in the comment bar or inbox me on the Facebook page or on the YouTube channel, or you can send it to ask@huda.tv. Thank you, Mahjoub from the USA. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Next caller. Charmin from the USA. Welcome to Ask with a Charmin.
Assalamu alaikum, Sheikh. How are you?
I'm doing great, alhamdulillah. And you?
I'm doing great, alhamdulillah. My husband and I, we are flying tomorrow to Jeddah, inshallah, to perform Hajj.
Congratulations, mashallah, mashallah.
Jazakallah khairan. Please make dua for us. We are very happy, it's like after all been going on here. I have 3 short questions. First question is it mandatory to pray 2 rakah salat after, making the intention for ihram?
Okay. I have a question for you. You're coming to Mecca first or you're going to Medina first?
No, Makkah, because we are flying tomorrow. So we'll be arriving in Makkah on 6th Julhijjah in the morning.
How did you find applying online? Was it easy? Did you have any problems
No,
with
it
that?
was very, oh my goodness. They rejected us first time, and then all of a sudden I didn't give up. I kept making dua. I just realized that dua is so powerful. So I kept making dua. I don't know, all of a sudden I got the email that, you guys we are approved, and like we got our visas in a day. But it was very like chaotic situation here.
And did you find it costly though?
Yes, it's only 10-day package they gave us for two person. It's $29,000.
Allah understand. This is without the domestic flights, of course. Only international flight, correct?
This is Saudi Airlines.
Okay. So, respected Sister Shaman, praying 2 rak'ahs prior to assuming the intention of ihram is not required whatsoever. It's simply, if you happen, like I'm in the flight and I prayed, as you know, that it's permissible to pray in the plane if you fear that the time of the prayer will be out. So I prayed maybe Maghrib and Isha, and soon after they said that it's the miqat. So you say labbaik Allahumma hajjan or labbaik Allahumma umrah. If you're coming tomorrow, I assume that you'll be doing hajj. Say first labbaik Allahumma umratan, and you're not required to pray 2 rak'ahs before. But if somebody made wudu and got ready for ihram and prayed 2 rak'ahs sunnatul wudu, it is recommended then to pray the 2 rak'ahs, then make the talbiyah. But it is not required whatsoever to pray 2 rak'ahs before talbiyah or ihram, nor after it. Thank you, Shaman, and I ask the Almighty Allah to make it easy for all of us to perform an easy, affordable, and accepted Hajj, inshallah, this year. Assalamu alaikum. I'd like, before I take the following caller, I'd like to bring to your attention that, alhamdulillah, we're going live every day, and we're even canceling the rest of the programs, Gardens of the Pious and others, because I know that a lot of people would have questions about Hajj. So you can easily reach us from anywhere in the world. Even if you don't have a phone, you can send your question in the comment bar. We'll collect it, and inshallah it will be answered in the following episode. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Sister Samira from the UK, I hope you're going for Hajj too.
No, I'm not.
Maybe next year, inshallah. Okay,
yeah,
so what
inshallah.
is your question, Samira?
I wanted to actually ask that you make dua for the Muslim Ummah because you're going to Hajj. Make dua that we're all happy, we're healthy, and we're all guided to the right path.
That was my mother's request yesterday when I asked her, do you need anything? And she is lying down on bed with the oxygen on, and she said, just pray for all Muslims. Thank you so much, respected Sister Samira from the UK. And now that is second. So may Allah bless the entire Ummah. May Allah make this Muslim Ummah united, make it prosper, make it successful, and make it united against our enemies and helpful to the whole world. May Allah guide our children, boys and girls to His straight path and keep us all rightly guided and steadfast on His straight path. Brothers and sisters, it is time to take a short break. And inshallah, we'll be back in a few minutes. So hold on to your phone calls. Inshallah, we'll be more than happy to collect them in a couple of minutes. Please stay tuned. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh, and welcome back to the second segment of today's Ask Huda. We're going live from Makkatul Mukarrama, and we're going live every day, same time, inshallah, to answer all your questions pertaining to Hajj by the leave of the Almighty Allah. Sister Samira from the UK, Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Wa alaikum assalam.
Samira, go ahead with your
My question is about, I had a question about speaking fast when making dua. Is it makruh? And I'm talking about general dhikr, but also if I'm asking for something specifically.
You said you're asking about speaking fast?
Making dua. Is it, if I make it fast, is it disliked? Yeah. And will my dua still be valid?
Okay. Right. I'd like to bring to attention all of us. Dua is the greatest act of worship. And that's why it must be offered with sincerity and with full attention. Because the Prophet ﷺ said once, إِنَّ اللَّهَ لَا يَقْبَلُ دُعَاءً مِنْ قَلْبٍ غَافِلٍ لَاهٍ. Like when somebody is just repeating a statement without paying attention to its meaning. So I'm afraid if a person is saying it so fast, without realizing, without pondering over what he says, without meaning what he says, then it undergoes the same verdict. إِنَّ اللَّهَ لَا يَقْبَلُ دُعَاءً. Allah does not accept the supplication from a person whose heart is negligent and playing. While you're making dua, you should be wholeheartedly focused on your dua, begging from Allah, full of trust that the Almighty Allah will answer your dua. And that's why take your time. And the Prophet ﷺ used to repeat his dua 3 times. Barakallahu feekum. Go ahead if you have another question. Assalamu alaikum, Hussein from the UK.
Assalamu alaikum, Sheikh. My name is Sanwar Hussein. I'm calling from UK, Birmingham.
Sanwar Hussein. Go ahead, Sanwar. How may I help you?
Yes, I have a question to ask you, Sheikh. Basically, I have heard or I've come to know that if you are intending to do Qurbani, then you shouldn't, cut your nails, or you shouldn't trim your beard or mustache up until 10th of or 9th of Dhul Hijjah. So I'm a bit confused, because obviously if someone works or if someone does an official job and he has got to, present himself in a, decent way, so is it permissible to, shape the mustache or cut the nails and stuff like that?
طيب, Hussein, let me answer your question beginning by saying that it is not up to the 9th. It is rather up until you actually offer your sacrifice, which some people do on the 10th. Some people delay it on the 10th evening. Some people make it next day, depending on when will your Qurbani be sacrificed. The reason behind that, there is a hadith collected by Imam Muslim in which Salama, the mother of the believers, may Allah be pleased with her, narrated that the Messenger of Allah, peace be upon him, said, if any of you is planning to offer a Qurbani, yudahi, فَلْيُمْسِكْ, let him withhold, let him refrain from clipping the nails and cutting or shaving or removing any hair from his or her body, only for the person who is planning to give the udhiyah, not the rest of the family members. According to Imam Ahmad ibn Hanbal, it is haram to cut any hair or clip any nail or remove any hair or even skin from your body, like you are in a state of ihram, until you offer your qurban. The vast majority of the Muslim Jews are of the view that it's mere recommended not to do it. And if you do it, it becomes dislike. And in either case, according to Imam Ahmad ibn Hanbal or the rest of the scholars, if you do clip your nails, there is no, it's a sin, but there is no ransom for it. There is no expiation like you have to give a sheep or slaughter something or fast for 3 days. None of the above. Just istighfar. Now, coming to speak practically about your question, that if you're working in an office and you have, most of us clip our nails once every 10 days, once every couple of weeks, if we remember, right? I hope you're not asking about shaving the beard, because shaving the beard is forbidden for men throughout the year. It's not permissible, so you should not be shaving your beard. And trimming the mustache, again, it's not the 9 days which will make your mustache very scary. In addition to, in most countries, it's a Eid day, it's a holiday, and the following few days. So I shared with you the opinions of the vast majority of the scholars and the hadith of Salama and what is the more correct view. And in order to be in the safe side, you should really, if you're planning to give udhiyah, to refrain from clipping any nail or shaving any hair until you offer your qurbani. May Allah bless you all. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Yaqub from Canada, welcome to Ask Huda. Yaqub.
Walaikum salam, Sheikh. Salamu alaikum.
Wa alaikum salam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh, Yaqub. Go ahead. What is your question?
Yes, I have one question, Sheikh. I have in some association, they are funding the travel for the Hajj. So my question is, for example, and these are sometimes non-Muslim association. Let's say if I accept their fundings to go for Hajj, will it be accepted?
I believe, Yaqub, you're Nigerian, aren't you? You're from Nigeria originally, correct?
No, I'm from Cameroon.
Cameroon, okay. You sound like Nigerian, subhanAllah. So if the money that you're going for Hajj is from halal, whether from you or another person, and he's giving this money to you as a gift, or a non-profit organization is giving you this money, you don't have to investigate. And they say you're eligible, you meet the criterion, lucky you, mashallah, go for Hajj, and may Allah accept it. It's permissible to accept such grant. Thank you, Yaqub. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Sister Layla from Belgium, welcome to Ask Huda, Sister Layla.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh, Sheikh. How are you?
Wa alaikum assalam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. I'm doing amazing, alhamdulillah. How about yourself?
Alhamdulillah, I'm okay. Jazakallah khairan. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala bless you and your family and grant you all al-firdaus, inshallah, ameen. I'm glad that you were able to go to Hajj this year. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala accept from you, and may Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala invite all of us to go for Hajj someday, inshallah, ameen.
Thank you so much. Beautiful supplications. May Allah accept your prayers. Go ahead, Layla.
Jazakallah khairan, Shaykh. I have just one question, inshallah. Is it correct that women cannot cover their faces during the ihram? And if this is correct, Sheikh, what is the proper way for a woman to cover her face during the ihram? Jazakallah khairan, that was my question.
Thank you. The ihram of a woman lies in her face and hands. What does it mean? Ihram for men is to take off all your clothes and to wear the 2 sheets on a stitched cloth. For women, their ihram is simply by showing or not covering their hands to the wrist and their face, like in the prayers, exactly. But Aisha radiallahu anha narrated that they used to uncover their faces because they're in ihram. Unless if they pass by men or men pass by them, then they would lower their isdal, which is a separate scarf that they wear on top of their khimar. So by lowering the isdal, she will be covering her face, but only for this reason, because she's around men who are non-mahram. But during around women in their tent room, she should be totally uncovering her face and hands. That is the meaning of the ihram of a woman in the hands and the face. And may Allah make it easy for you, Layla, to perform Hajj next year. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Amatullah from the UK, welcome to Ask Huda. Amatullah.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi ta'ala wa barakatuh.
Wa alaikum assalam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Go ahead, Amatullah.
Sheikh, I just have one question actually. This Qurbani, highly recommended because we live in the UK and we usually give it to the charities who will do your Qurbani in different countries like Yemen, Syria. And there's two charity company I paid it to, and they asked specific name like, would you like to be named and all that. So I gave two of my son's name. So because we wouldn't know when they do the so are they exempt not to cut their nails and trimming their hairs? If you could explain it, because we wouldn't know when they done the Qurbani on a sacrifice or even my name as well. So this is like, I don't know which day they do Qurbani. So I just wanted to know if you could clarify it for us. That'd be really great. Jazakallah khairan.
Respected sister, who paid for the udhiyah, for the Qurbani? Who paid for it?
I paid it for myself and for my two sons.
Okay. In this case, the hukm only applies to those are exempt. You just to compliment them, to make them involved, you put their names. But actually, the udhiyah is on behalf of yourself and your family members. I mean, everyone who's living under your roof. If your parents are living with you, they don't have to give an independent Qurbani. They are included in your Qurbani. If your husband is living with you and he's not well off and you can afford it, you say Bismillah and you give the Qurbani, only you would have to refrain from clipping the nails or cutting the hair, and the rest of the family members enjoy it because they are, let me use the term, enjoying the free ride. They're getting their word, but they're not required to refrain from clipping the nails or cutting the hair. Okay? Then, the second segment which I would like to add, how do I know that they already offered my Qurbani? You wouldn't know. I can assure you, because a non-profit organization collecting funds from thousands of people, I doubt that they will be able to slaughter, maybe 1,000 head per day, unless if they have like a slaughterhouse. So in this case, we assume by the end of the Eid day, you can consider it done. If you want to wait until the next day, and if it is really urgent, if you have to clip your nails and cut any hair, then you can do it, inshallah. Barakallahu feekum. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Shadida from the USA, welcome to Ask Huda, Shadida.
Assalamu alaikum.
Alaikum assalam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Just calling if I can ask you to make dua for all the Muslim brothers and sisters going through all these turmoils in this place right now. Also, can I ask you to make dua for myself and my family, especially my daughter, which she's having a lot of problems.
May Allah bless you and your entire family. May Allah ease your daughter's way and solve her problems. May Allah make it easy for her. May Allah bless you for calling in and asking dua for the entire ummah. ربنا آتنا في الدنيا حسنة وفي الآخرة حسنة وقنا عذاب النار. Thank you, Shadida from the USA. Thank you so much. Such calls really make my day. They make me very happy to see people who really care. They care about the entire ummah. I really, really appreciate it. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Abdul Qadir from the USA.
Yeah, so I have a question, so I called. Should I wait or say my? Should I wait or say my question?
Abdul Qadir, you're live on Ask Huda. Go ahead and see your question. This is Muhammad Salah with you.
Oh, Jazakallah khair, Sheikh. Okay, so I have a question. So I'm working as a driver that travels like long really. And so I was wondering, and it's the month, and we're in the 10 days of the 10 days of Dhul Hijjah. So I was wondering if I'm able to fast. Is it because I have seen the I saw the hadith of the Prophet ﷺ where he says there's no piety in fasting, like if you're traveling, So I was afraid. I didn't want to do it because I didn't want to
I got your question, Abdul Qadir. First of all, yes, there is a hadith in which the Nabi sallallahu alayhi wa sallam said, لَيْسَ مِنْ بِرٍ صِيَامٍ فِي سَفَرٍ. It is not a piety to fast while traveling. This is related to the voluntary fasting. But if traveling is affordable, I'm sitting in an air-conditioned bus or cab, and anyway, I don't eat much. Why not take an advantage? When the Prophet ﷺ says so, because he doesn't want Muslims to burden themselves. And also there are exceptions, like in Ramadan. People come from the States to do Umrah and they fly for 14 hours and they fast. We used to do this with pleasure and we wouldn't just land and eat right away. No, we'll be fasting, land to Jeddah, take another bus, go to Medina or Mecca, and we're happy with that. And it doesn't burden us. If you feel any burden, if you feel that you're weak and you need to eat and drink and break your fast. So the determining factor is your ability and also the circumstances. Like those 9 days are very precious, especially the 9th day. And it's not only fasting. Fasting is one of the ibadat. Yes, it is very precious, very praiseworthy, and very appreciated by Allah. But while driving, Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar, La ilaha illallah, Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar, walillahi alhamd. All the time, as much as you can. This is the most praiseworthy worship during. Thank you so much for your keenness to do extra worship. Like even Abdul Qadir is a driver and he's traveling. If it burns, don't fast. May Allah bless you. Your tongue busy with the dhikr. Every day give some sort of charity. Make sure you give the udhiyah if you can afford the mean. You play the Quran and you listen to it in your car and so on. Barakallahu feekum. Assalamu alaikum. Ali from Pakistan, welcome to Ask Huda, Ali. Assalamu alaikum.
Dr. Salah, how are you?
Alhamdulillah, I'm doing great. Thank you for asking. And you?
I'm doing well. I had a question today, Dr. Salah. When I went on Hajj a few years ago, I used the money from my banking days, the one that I earned while working for a bank. When I went and I got to the Hajj, I realized and I read up that, this was not lawful money. And at the same time, I had actually taken a loan from somebody a few months ago. So I made a niyyah intention that I am attending this Hajj from the loan money and not from the banking money. Was my Hajj valid back then? That is the first question. Second question is, I can be a little OCD when it comes to matters of cleanliness. So sometimes when I go to the mosque, it bothers me that somebody to the right is picking their nose, somebody is not wearing a cologne, somebody is scratching themselves. I try to focus on Salah, but it bothers me a lot what people are doing on the left and the right and playing with their hair and picking their nose. So how do I forget about this and focus only on Salah?
All right. Thank you, Ali. First of all, if somebody had performed Hajj, okay, I've accepted your Hajj or I pardoned you. The rule is the rule. Allah doesn't accept Hajj which is performed from unlawful earning, like usury, like bribery, like theft, and so on. Yet, if your intention that you borrowed money from somebody to perform Hajj from this loan, which is halal, that's different. Alhamdulillah. And you're paying this loan from the money which is earned lawfully, then your Hajj has been performed from lawful earning. Secondly, if somebody in the past did perform Hajj from haram earning, what is the condition of this Hajj? Hajjatul Islam has been fulfilled. Yani he has fulfilled the faridah. He's not required to redo it. But the qabul is something different. Qabul means acceptance. Like, I did it. But has it been accepted? Allah said He will not accept anything which is offered from haram earning. But you've done it. So, if you said that you performed Hajj from a money that you've taken it as a loan and you paid it off from halal earning, then Alhamdulillah, it was done from halal earning. Those who know that in the past they've done Hajj from haram earning, they are highly encouraged to do another Hajj after they quit the haram and get rid of the haram and do it only from halal. It's not only Hajj, brothers and sisters. It is a food that we admit to our stomach. If it is not from halal, then the body is flourished and grew up from haram. Fire of hell is more worthy with such fire. It's not easy to feed yourself and feed your family members or feed your kids from haram. It does not work. It doesn't work. Inna Allah tayyibun la yaqbalu illa tayyiba. Allah is good and He only accepts that which is good. I think by that we'll take one more call because we went over time. Adnan from
Assalamu alaikum, Sheikh.
Adnan from Italy. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Go ahead, sister Adnan.
Wa alaikum salam rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Sheikh, how is your mother doing, Sheikh? Hello?
I'm Sister Adnan. Alhamdulillah, everything is great.
Hello,
by the grace of
how
Allah.
It is Sheikh, we are all praying for her, Sheikh. And please, it was very touching to know that in spite of she being so sick, she advised you to pray for all Muslims. It was really very touching. May Allah cure her and give her complete shifa, Sheikh. Allahumma ameen.
Ameen.
Hello?
Thank you so much. Yes, I hear you, Adnan. Go ahead. Do you have another question?
No, Sheikh. Just I call to know about her health, Sheikh.
Thank you so
Please
much.
convey
Thank you
to
so
her
much.
that we all are praying for her also. All Huda TV
Ameen.
viewers especially.
Thank
May
you
Allah
so
give her
much.
quick
That's
recovery
really
and
great.
complete
And
shifa.
subhanallah, I think that is an amazing conclusion for today's episode of Ask Huda. And brothers and sisters, I love you all for the sake of Allah, and I will continue praying for you. May Allah bless you all your family members. May Allah bless our team, Huda TV, who are currently in the studio to facilitate the broadcast of this episode and all other programs. أقول قولي هذا وأستغفر الله لي ولكم. سبحانك اللهم وبحمدك نشهد أن لا إله إلا أنت نستغفرك ونتوب إليك وصلى الله على سيدنا محمد وعلى آله وصحبه وسلم والسلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته.
Allah is my heart's speech, your mercy is what I beseech. Keep in my heart your remembrance, and in your deen allow me to advance. Help me in my quest, permit me to pass the ultimate test. Help me in my quest, permit me to pass the ultimate test. Allah is my heart's speech, your mercy is what I beseech. Keep in my heart your remembrance, and in your deen allow me to advance.